Yeah, really, it is. I guarantee you this is not at all. Ah. Let's hit Ghost Cowboy Bob again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just right. Wanna try another one? Hello everybody, I'm Garrett Woods and you're watching 11 Bang Bang. Today we have a very, very interesting rifle, one of my all-time favorites. You guys know that I have a thing for single shots. This is the Remington Rolling Block Spanish model. This is in 43 Spanish. A little bit of history on these. These guns were first developed clear back in 1867, which means this is one of the earliest cartridge centerfire rifles, and it shoots the 43 Spanish cartridge. Now, everyone asks me when I bring this gun out, is that a buffalo rifle? No, this is actually a military rifle. As you can see, we have 3 bands, full stock, mil-serp rifle. There's no way of really dating exactly when this one came out, but we can assume that this is 1870s. Now, the 43 Spanish is close to a buffalo rifle. One of the most popular buffalo rounds ever made was the 4477, and when the 43 Spanish was adopted, it was called, of course, the 43 Spanish, but here in the United States it was known as the 4377. It is a neck down bottleneck cartridge with a 396 grain bullet and 80 grains of powder in the casing here, which makes it considerably more powerful and flatter shooting than the 405 grain 4570. Well, maybe I shouldn't say more powerful. It's probably about the same foot-pounds. I haven't run it over a chronograph, but I can tell you from experience, the little bit lighter bullet with more powder behind it in a bottleneck cartridge makes this a flatter shooting round. So without further ado, let's load this thing up and shoot it a little bit. Now, one thing you should know about this rifle. This rifle, you can buy one of these in pretty good shape for around $700 usually. But bear in mind, in order to get yourself around 20 pieces of brass, the loading dies and the mold, you're looking at spending another $700 just on reloading components. They don't last very long, and the brass you find, you have to be very careful, because we have had some case head separations, and people have often told me it is because the modern brass is not made to specifications. However, luckily the rolling block is a very strong action, very safe action, so nothing bad has happened because of the case head separation thus far, and I think we've worked all those out. So without further ado, let's load it up. Now, this gun does have a safety and a full cock, and that's all it has. And that is one of the reasons why American militaries didn't really prefer this over the trapdoor, because you have to go to full cock, and then you pop your cartridge in there, you shut it. Now, you are ready to fire. You have to pull the trigger to get back to safety. Whereas on the trapdoor, a lot of, especially the later ones, they had 3-position tumblers where you could go from half cock back to safety. And it's not as dangerous, I guess. There are some modifications made to other versions of this gun, especially the American versions, that kind of took care of that. But you know, so a lot of people do like to have a half cock instead of just a safety. So we are loaded up. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna reach out here to 40 yards and see where this gun is hitting today, because it's been a year or so since I shot it. We only got around 16 rounds, so we're gonna do the best we can with what limited ammunition we have. All right, guys, as I recall, this thing was pretty dead on at 50 yards. So last time I shot this was like 2 years ago in Wyoming. So we're gonna reach out up here and go to 40 yards on that red plate. Just see how well we do. So, all right, we're gonna go back to full cock. You're gonna open that. This is where the trapdoor kind of shines, because the trapdoor would have kicked that cartridge clear out and would have had ejection instead of just extraction. This just has extraction. But anyway, we're gonna take very good care of this brass. Send that back there. All right. We have another round here. I'm gonna turn around and go out here to 100 and see what we can do there. All right, guys, 100 yards, steel plate. All right, let's go for the red plate. Woo, we might want to lower our sight. Oh, you already did, didn't you? Oh, well, it fell back down then. Red plate. Yes, sir. Turned out we'd lost our end cap there, and that's probably why our ramrod was coming out. But I got it found there. We're going to shoot a few more shots because we have them, and we're going to call this a day. Let's go ahead and shoot a gong. Yeah, that really packs a wallop. All right, just for the fun of it, how many rounds we got left there? 3? We're gonna come around here and we're gonna shoot some of these railroad plates. All right, let's take a railroad plate off the deal. I guarantee you this will knock it off. Ah, I guarantee and it failed, only broke 1 wire. You failed me, Remington, you failed me again. All right, another round here. Let's put one through the propane jug. I bet you this one goes all the way through. What do you think, Caleb? There goes our end cap again. All right, so these last 2 rounds we've had loaded up for a little over a year, so.
They aren't homemade powders.
They're not homemade powder.
All right, won't work.
All right, well, that's probably gonna, let's go out here with, I believe this is actually 3F Old Einsford, 80 grains in these. Let's hit Ghost Cowboy Bob with one. Yes, sir. All right, so our end cap keeps coming off, guys. The screw hole there is kind of rotted out in it, and I need to go home and fix it. Anyway, what do I think? Remington Rolling Block, one of my absolute favorite rifles. I was doing pretty good at 100, really failed at 150, and at 350, I really failed with this. Now, that's not saying that I couldn't, you know, take some time from the bench and shoot. It's probably me, it's not the rifle. I really like these single shot rifles, just like the trapdoor. They both have a special place in my heart. I personally like the trapdoor a little better just because it has ejection, which is always fun. You just open the door and the thing flies out, and it's a game to try to catch it. In a battle, that might be the difference between life and death if you have to extract each cartridge manually. I don't know, it just might be. But anyway, as always, trust in God, keep your powder dry. Bye.